What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another Brutally Honest PUBG. We're gonna jump right into it this off season with some Q&As from you guys. Probably do 3 or 4 of these episodes if I can before the season actually starts. So yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll jump right into the content. All right, jumping right into it, we have our first question from Dunkus. What brand is better than their current team? I'm gonna do these questions a little faster than normal because I don't want to spend forever on them. So I'm just gonna do one for NA and one for EU here. EU, I think FaZe is better brand than their current team. I think their team, with that brand attached, should always be in the top two, top three for sure, no matter what. And they're just not there right now. And then for NA, it sucks to say, but it's LG. It's us. LG is a way better brand than we are representing them as. We didn't play nearly well enough recently at all this year to honestly deserve LG and Luminosity and everything that they provide. So that sucks. But yeah, those are the two. FaZe and Luminosity are the two that are underperforming for their brands right now. All right, jumping to another question, we have Shinboy. Had to get one of these out of the way because he has so many. Predictions on what teams the players from Overpeakers joined in 2023. This is a tough one because I'm not super in tune with the European scene as much. But we've seen Jeems playing a lot with heroic and scrims and stuff, so it looks like he's heading in that direction, more towards the heroic side. I don't know where any of the other guys are going in any aspects, so I'm just gonna say what I would like to see them on instead of a prediction. And this is just what I would like to see them on. I'd like to see Klib and Vard combination join FaZe, possibly like push out Diggory and AT maybe. I think that would be a nuts combo. Gustav, Fex, Klib, and Vard. That just, I mean, Overpeakers sounded nuts on paper too, so you never know. But I like that roster. And then last one would be Mexi. Mexi's always super solid, but I don't see like a natural fit for him. I'd like to see him maybe rebuild ends in that brand in some capacity. That'd be pretty cool to see. So yeah. All right, for the next one, we have Scoot asking, do you think the Sonics mentality around unconventional playstyles, people trolling scrims, contributed to their inability to adapt to global lobbies for 2 PGCs in a row? Or more open-ended, why are they so good regionally but have struggled globally recently? Um, as far as like the trolling scrims, unconventional playstyle thing, I think that's just something that all tier one players hate for the most part. If you troll scrims, die early, it heavily affects the lobby to where we rely on those players being alive to play the game properly. If there's 20 people dead by zone 2, 3, then all the information you get is just, it's so much different. The way you crash compounds is different. The angles people can take, the advantage people take of space, it's just, it wastes time. And people want to try and mimic a real game. And that just, it will never be able to do that if people are always trolling. So I don't think that affects their global performance. The part that does affect their global performance, I think, is their kind of mentality and how split they are among their own team. I think most people saw it in their video for that the Sonics did release is, Tig and Shrimsy are live and die by Poach Picado. They don't want to ever leave. Atron and Mime are like, let's get the fuck out of here. Let's play the game. This is dumb. We're just inting. I mean, I agree more with H1 and Mime, which I never thought I'd say. When you have a team that's so split, especially when you're superstars, because realistically, the team is built and branded around Tig and Trimsy. So when you have those two wanting to stay, and then kind of the tip of the spear in Mime, and your IGL leader in H-Win wanting to get the fuck out, it's never going to end well unless you can get the whole team to consciously agree that this is the best play and what we're doing is the best for the team in the long run. I think that mixed with lack of preparation is why they have failed. I mean, this is coming from the person who got 32nd. And so, yeah, I think it just comes down to failure to prepare and just not being on the same page enough. So let's jump into the next one. All right, for the next question, we have Bakes asking, do they do drug testing on LAN events as they do on the CDL? And do you think players take Adderall, like a lot of speculations of CDL Warzone players? There's zero drug testing in PUBG. They don't give a shit that I'm aware of. Nobody's ever said it's illegal or wrong to do. With that being said, I've never done it. Nobody on my team is doing it that I know of. You never know if people are running into a bathroom and sniffing a line before the games, but yeah, nobody that I personally know or that I've played with has done it actively while competing. But there are definitely people who do. I don't know everybody that does. I know a few people who do. I'm not gonna snitch, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna put it out there and blast their business, but yeah, there's definitely people that take advantage of it and definitely compete with it. Um, am I upset at it? No, it is what it is. If they came out and said you shouldn't do it, you know, at a public standpoint, then that would be a different story. But basically, it's the wild wild west out here. I mean, you got people putting macros in their fucking mice to compete online for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So yeah, I mean, I'm not concerned about the Addy. All right, for the next one, we have Yazi asking, do you feel that the T2 and upcoming talent pool in NA has gotten better or worse this past year? Is there any player that you would consider to be undervalued at the moment? Good question. I'm not super in tune with like the T2, T3, and deeper like NA pool. I played a little bit of scrims recently. There's been some better talent. Not the best talent we've seen compared to like 2019, 2020 of like like guys like Vegas and Kick and Snakers and those guys kind of hitting of age to compete. Um, but considering compared to last year, I think it's maybe a little better. There's definitely some guys coming up, like IQ, Cowboy, Spoon. There's definitely a few guys that are getting up there. I don't think they're T1 type players for a bit, but they're definitely up and coming. In terms of undervalued, um, he's been solid for a while, and people have like in within the scene at least have been hyping him up as Maji. I got the opportunity to play a couple of games with Maji and scrims, and I was just really impressed with his AR. I think he's a solid player. I think he's really quiet, which something that a lot of players can work on is just communication and making their voice heard. But yeah, probably one of my players for at least early this year to make a breakout would be Maji. I'm looking forward to seeing him compete with Friendly Fire and those boys. So that's probably my main player right now. Brian here asking, do you think the partner team program will bring in any new orgs or bring back any old orgs? Um, Long answer short, no. I don't think that the program is going to bring any new orgs or old orgs back. I think the orgs that are already within PUBG are already established enough for the most part to get those partnerships right away. FaZe, Navi for EU, and those types of teams. Asia obviously has a ton of teams with great orgs already that will just get those partnerships. And then like NA, Soniqs are just they've been too good, too consistent. They've been in PUBG forever, even if before they were successful. With Bizzle, Bizzle has a long history from Team Gates all the way until he was done with Team Gates. Joined Soniqs, took over, and immediately picked up PUBG team and has been grinding it out. So I think the Soniqs are number one for NA. There's no way they don't get it. If they don't get it, people should revolt. And then, like I said, the other regions are just, again, the teams are too established. Navi, FaZe, the brands have been in here forever. I don't think brands like TSM or Liquid jumping back in make sense to get it because they bailed out and the other teams are already too established and too good and stuck with it. So I guess long answer long again. No, no, it's not gonna bring anybody in right now. People are gonna watch from the outside looking in and see how it is, and then maybe they'll jump in down the line. We're going to jump right back into another one from Brian, which is, which format do you prefer, NPL, PCS, whatever PGS is going to be? Good question. I don't really know exactly what PGS is going to feel like until we play in it. Hopefully that's, online quals to a regional LAN qualifier and then to a global event. That sounds fucking awesome for the most part, but for me and how I played and with NPL, nothing will beat that. Obviously, the the environment, the format, the length of games, the best teams shine for the most part. And it was just awesome to be there always with the entire PUBG scene. Those type of formats are always going to be the best. Probably not the best for PUBG's pocket, but in terms of fairness, and then enjoyment of just being around the scene, NPL will always be the pinnacle of PUBG for me in terms of all that. So yeah, NPL if I had to pick one for sure. All right, we got Kick. Not really a question, it's telling me to make a player tier list. This is something that I could do and break it down on here as best as I could, but I want to wait until the scene's more established again, kind of get back into the middle of the things, see how people are doing. So if people remind me, maybe first event, give or take, like after the qualifiers or right after the first event of the year. I'd love to do one. Just jump in my DMs or my notifications on Twitter, whatever the fuck. Just spam me and I'll make one. All right, for the next one, we have Prince asking, why is LG not making any roster changes? Honestly, nobody on the market seems worth to pick over anybody on our current roster. Um, Obviously, like something's not working. Um, we have one of the better rosters on paper still. The mechanics are there, the attitudes are there, everything's there. Maybe not the grind mindset as much, which sucks, obviously, because people aren't hitting their potentials and the ceilings that we are as a team. Um, so yeah, we're not making changes because nobody's really worth it right now. Um, Now that'll change. Like, obviously, we just got 30 seconds, so it's a big talking point of like they should definitely change something up. Something's not working, and I agree, but I don't know what to change. I don't know if that means I need to be changed because maybe the calls aren't as great or whatever it may be. But nothing is sticking out as this has to change right now. And so when nothing is blaringly obvious to us as players, and Coach Gunnar will say the same thing, nothing's blaringly obvious, like this is wrong right now, we need to fix this, then what are you going to do? You don't just, hope that you change something out and it fixes it. We're going to try again, work towards what we can. If people aren't putting in the effort and the time and the energy and we're underperforming still, I honestly, if we severely underperform in the first event of this year, then there will be a change, most likely. I don't know what it would be. I have no idea right now. But we can't keep continuing towards failure. So, we just got last, pick ourselves up, work at it, try our best we can to do something in this first event of the year, whatever it may be, and we're just going from there. All right, next one we got Draco. Why are dominant teams, NA teams such as yourselves and Soniqs shitting the bed recently in major tournaments? Um, Honestly, that's a tough one. Sonics I touched on a little bit already. I think failure to prepare, overconfident, team being split, things like that had the effect. As far as us, um, honestly, just kind of play style, some of the calls, a lot of the things just didn't add up to success. We started out decently and then just kind of fell apart. Mental was good. Yeah, we just kind of fell apart. Mental was good all around. I think we were confident. I think we were just kind of making plays we were constantly trying to win the game, and the plays would fall apart instead of like trying to just soak up points and get points. Like, we need 8 points, and like you should never play to only get 8 points or play to lose or whatever the fuck. Like, you play to win the game. You play the best you can. And a lot of the plays that we made, if you look back, we're making crashes off teams that are split or they have one knocked, and we were trying to make a big play, and the fights kind of just fell apart. And that just happened on repeat, and we sucked. So my takeaway is, hear my Sonic spiel, and then for us, just not piecing everything together, maybe playing a little too aggro in our playstyle a little bit in certain things, and then sometimes just being a little too passive. It's just a perfect combination of always doing the wrong thing. I mean, it's our first real fuck up internationally, a giant one, but yeah, everything kind of fell into the wrong place at the wrong time, and result is dead last. So, all right, anonymous question here we got. Not necessarily a toxic question, but a controversial one. What do you think of Soniqs' performance at PGC? How can the entire roster get away with what is legitimately a mistake too big to be ignored, especially the coaching staff? I think their performance was decent. It wasn't good by any means, but it was all right. They weren't embarrassing, but a lot of Sonics fans will say it was. I think the embarrassing part is they're back and forth. That they want to drop their team is split, things like that, to where they just need to have confidence about what they're doing as a whole, as a unit, and playing towards that goal. And when you have team split, it's just not gonna be a healthy environment. As soon as you leave Poach Picado and you get wiped, then the other boys that wanted to stay are like, well, we could have just fucking done this from Poach Picado. We would have got more points than Hunt Drop. It's probably shit like that. And then, like you said, the coaching roles and the staff there, which was Sologic and Wooly. I think Wooly tried his best. It was probably a little too late for him to jump in because he came from BBB and that shit. To prepare those boys, and he was probably preparing them just for Poach Picado and kind of on teamwork and comms and stuff like that. But I think they should have been prepared to leave much more. They should have had a couple spots in mind and how they were going to play those spots and their drop spots and been practicing it a little bit somehow. And then as far as Logic, I think he's more of just like a manager role, not really a coach as much. Um, but I don't actually know their deep ins and outs. So definitely, I think they need a more permanent coach, analytical, somebody who's going to go in depth with them and figure things out, somebody who they respect and they can kind of just grow with and actually look forward to answers instead of trying to figure it out amongst themselves. Because I think that team might have a weird power dynamic. Um, but yeah, I think they did all right, but they definitely came underprepared and just were not ready for the situation ahead of them. All right, that's gonna be the last one I answer for this video, and then we'll do the rest in a couple more videos after this. But John Lunsford asks, "How are you so mechanically trash?" I'm gonna give this a straight up answer, even though it's a fucking shit question. I'm mechanically trash because I'm not mechanically gifted. You look at people like Alo and Penton, my teammates, and Tig and those boys, just in general, um, just gifted, just gifted. You throw them on any game, they're just fucking cracked. You throw them, they don't have to play PUBG for a month. Throw Alo on the fucking mouse and keyboard, put him in a training range, he's gonna fucking 10 times outdo me. They're just mechanically gifted. I can sit here all day, every day, and I will get marginally better and marginally better, but they are just born better. They are naturally better. No matter what I do, I will never beat Luke 1-2 in fucking aim trainer or anything like that. They will always be better. All I can do is improve what I can, marginally get better whenever I can, which I have. Um, but long story short, for this answer is they're just better. I am not as good as they are, and I will not be no matter what I do. So I have to do it with other ways. Take out some nades, make stupid ass runs to the middle of the map, have good comms, have good ideas, improve where I can because mechanically I can never match up to those gentlemen. So yeah, that's that. That is the end of this video. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll try and do probably 2 more Q&A videos in the next week. I'll do one, and then a week after that I'll try and do another one. We will see how it goes. But thank you guys for the love and watching the entire video if you made it. Appreciate you guys. Catch you in the next one.